Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the journey of our 21 day um, understanding self and cultivating peace. Today's is day three, and yesterday uh, we have stopped at the seven holistic vows, and we have seven lights, which filled in our house, the house of or in our home, uh, the home of mind, uh, which is the foundation of the house, and of health and relationships are the pillars of the house, and the roof, which is a financial condition. And we have seven lights, which are wisdom, state of mind, personality, virtues, physical health, uh, capability, and material. And we know that there are physical assets and non-physical assets in our life. And if we want to add more value in us, we need to have the non-physical assets in us, which are wisdom, uh, state of mind, noble personalities, virtues, right? So to have those non-physical assets in us, we need to we need to uh, materialize those non-physical assets, right? So in this journey we have chance to materialize those non-physical assets as the wise man have provided us the formula and the methods to materialize non-physical assets. So when we can materialize those non-physical assets, we have chance to define them. We have chance to uh, understand them so that we can feel them and we can have them. We can sense them, and when we sense, we feel, and we have those non-physical assets. It can be it can be invisible somebody in somebody's eyes, but is visible in our eyes. So that's why when we can materialize the non-physical assets, we add more value in us, and this journey is not nothing than add those non-physical assets in us. That's why we gradually, naturally, automatically remove the six inner barriers in us. And thank you so much for your presence, for your support, for your time. And we together can understand our inner selves to cultivate our happy, peaceful life. Now we will start today's lesson. Please allow me to share my screen so that we can start it. All right. So with the light principle, we instead of dealing with the darkness, try to remove them. Try to remove it from the house. We fill it with light, and we have seven lights: wisdom, state of mind, personality, virtues, physical health, capability, material. Okay. Okay. Now we can move on to the next principle. We, so we have the second principle. name brain activation. Brain activation. So, in this principle, you need to know these three words. Lesson, insight, and enlightenment. Enlightenment, which which is lesson. So lessons is something that we newly learned. Newly learned. It's newly learned. And insight is something that we is also a lesson. It's also a lesson uh, that we have learned, and we find it's applicable into our life. So it's ap- applicable. And enlightenment, mm, enlightenment, that which is our realization when we have the answer for our mm, long-standing inquiry. So we have the answer. We have the answer for long-standing inquiries. So why these three words are very important to activate a human brain. Uh, It helps us to activate our brain. And what is brain activation? When we apply this principle, it means that we can activate our brain to see the better future, the brighter future. We can see the beauty in us, in others, in every single things in life. Like we can see the light, we can see the helpful things instead of many people they when they encounter something they see the bad side of it. But the people who have brain activation, uh, who have brain activated, can see silver lining. They can see the good things in difficulties, in troubles, in sadness, because they can see the lessons from life. They can see the insights from life, and they have the enlightenment. And somebody call is a wake up call. So the more we do these three things, mm, the more chance for us to have the brain activated. We we can't we can simply do it like for example, you are you watch this video, or you learn this you learn with me in this journey, and you found something new. So it is your lesson. It is the lesson that you got here, and you found something that you can apply it to your life, like previously, like previous principle we have, the light principle. So now we know that we should fill inside our home with light, instead of removing darkness or focusing on the trouble. So that is the lesson that you have learned, newly learned, and you also found that this is applicable into your life. Is so it's also an insight to you, and if you have the long-standing inquiries about how to how to be happier, how to be healthier, how to have a peaceful life, that we need to fill it with our happiness, with peace, with appreciative gratitude, with modesty, with embrace, with tolerance. So when we fill our home, our house with those positive uh, elements, with those elements, so we can simply have a happier, healthier, uh, more peaceful life. So one lesson can be can be lesson, can be a lesson, an insight, and an enlightenment. So now we can practice, um, review since beginning until now. Uh, how many lessons that you have? You can list it down, and you can list them down, and the insight that you got and enlightenment that you have. So, or in every incident or event in your life, you invert, you draw out a lesson. You you have an insight, you have an enlightenment. So review and check if, or through your observation, if you have those lessons, insight, and enlightenment. Um, Fortunately, I have this mindset. Somehow I don't know why I have that mindset naturally, before I know about this principle. So when I encounter something, automatically my brain work like, what is the lesson I have here? There should be some lesson. There should be some lesson. For example, um, the other day when I stayed in quite remote province. Uh, the weather there is similar to our Dalat city in Vietnam. And I stayed there alone, no friends, um, no acquaintance, and it was it was between I think evening, and I went to a public market to buy something before I have a trip to Manila, the capital of the Philippines, where I'm living. And the my phone just run out of charge, and I didn't remember the way home, and the only way that I can get home was taking a taxi, and I was waiting there for almost 2 hours. And while waiting for the taxi, the, my mind was unstable, and I was a little bit scared because and I knew nobody there, and my phone just ran out of charge, I uh, and I didn't remember uh, the way home. So while I have that scary in mind, um, there was ultimately a question in my mind. What was the lesson here? There should be a lesson. There should be a lesson. And right after I got into the car, into the taxi, I realized the lesson that the service, like public service, is not always there, even though you have money to use those services. But if there's no taxis, there's no, you don't have, you cannot use it no matter what. So at that time, I realized that I shouldn't take things for granted. And I have learned the lessons many times in my life. But somehow, sometimes because of the convenience of life, and I forgot. So some incidents or situations comes to help me remember the lesson again. Don't take things for granted. So when I encounter any event, it's not quite a good event or incident in my life, uh, I naturally have that question. What is the lesson here? So that's why when I encounter something, I often see uh, the better side, or we call it silver lining in everything. So the more we're doing that, the more frequently we're doing that, the more our brains activated to see a better future. Because we often see the better sides, a good sides, upside in everything. And when I have learned about this principle, the principle of brand activations. And I know that it's not only lesson, but also insight and enlightenment, which is not just something newly learned, but also something that we can apply it in our lives. And we have the answers for our long-standing questions or inquiries. And since we have the enlightenments that why uh, we can grow, we can grow. And to explain about this principle of these three words um, in a deeper level, we need more. We need more concepts. We need to have several concepts to understand fully this principle. But here, because we cannot clarify or provide to those concepts, it's not a time yet. So we just know that um, the more frequently doing drawing out the lessons, insight, enlightenment in our life, in every event, incident in our lives, the more our brains activated to see a better future in us, in others, and in everything, in everything. Okay, so this is the principle of brain activation. And now we can practice by looking into every event in our life or from from the time that we wake up in the morning until now. So what incidents or events that you encounter and try to see the lesson there, to see inside an inside there, or to see if you have got the enlightenment. Okay, so this principle is also a lesson to someone, right? It could be a newly learned lesson to someone. And of course, if you want to, you see it's so useful and you want to apply it into your life, it will be an insight to you. And if that is the answer for a long-standing question of yours, so you have an enlightenment. Okay, try to do it anytime in your life. Anytime in your life. Okay, that is the second the second principle, the principle of brand activation. It's me. Six. Actually, I should give time for you to do to practice this principle, that you can have time to draw out lessons, insights, and enlightenment here. Uh, but since nobody asked, so we just continue. Okay, let's move to the next principle. Is the hmm, the principle of desire aligned inquiry. But before getting into that principle, we there is a concept. There is a concept we need to know. Mm, that is the words that we just knew earlier in light, some enlightenment. Um, we want to we want to grow. We want to be more mature. So the more mature we are, or the more mature we are, so the more a chance that we are successful. And how can we measure the successful of a person? It comes from the enlightenment that they get throughout their life. There is a there is a quote that said, no matter no matter how the length of your life, the span of your life, what really what really is important is when you get enlightenment. Again, no matter how the length of your life or the span of your life is, the most important thing that is when you get enlightenment and how frequently it is. Why? Because after enlightenment, we have we have chance to be more to be transformed, to be more mature, to grow. So between a person, there are two people. There are two people in um, a company. The first, the first one just have 5 year experience working in that industry. Another one that have more than 10 year experience in that industry. But the first one uh, was the one who got um, promoted first. And when people just viewed it and they have a question why, and they realize that the one who had just 5 year experience is really truly 5 year experience. It means that that guide have many enlightenment in his work. So the more enlightenment that he have in everyday working life, the better understanding that he have in his industry. So that's why he have those 5 year experience is really 5 year experience. But for someone, they when they are newly in the industry, they did have enlightenment in the first few years in that industry, and after that they didn't have any idea to develop to grow in that industry anymore. So that's why they just repeat those of experience. And many people who work in an industry for 10, 20 years, but they only have just 1 year experience and repeat it in and repeat it 10, 20 times. So the working, uh, the years of working is really far different from the working experience. So those who have more enlightenment in their work in their life, they really have the truly experience in their life or in their working life. So the more enlightenment that we get, the more successful that we have. And so um, to when it comes to the success of a person's or mm, the transformation of a person or um, maturity of a person's, we we come to this concept, enlightenment, enlightenment. And we have four subconcepts uh, around this enlightenment. So we have two kinds of enlightenment, the minor and major. We have minor and major. Okay. We have minor enlightenment. When we have minor, of course, we have a major. Enlightenment. What is minor enlightenment? Minor enlightenment is an um is a realization which is small, or the small realization that you realize something. You have a long-standing question, and but that question is just about um an aspect in your life, and you have the answer about that. Uh, it means that you have an enlightenment, but because it's just about a minor aspect in your life, so we call it minor enlightenment or a small realization. And conversely, the major enlightenment is the major realization in your life. It can be the answer of a long-standing question which impacts greatly in your life. It could be your whole life. So we call it major enlightenment, uh, the great realization. And we also have another kind of enlightenment, which is instant, instant enlightenment, and complete enlightenment. Instant enlightenment means that you have the immediate enlightenment or immediate realization when you have learned something, and right away you have the answer. So at that moment, we call this instant enlightenment. So there's no need to wait or a length of time to have that enlightenment. Right away, you have the enlightenment. So we call it an instant enlightenment. So that's why there are many people who they can have a very painful, difficult life, but just when they listen to a message or knowledge, and right away they realize something, and they have the an instant enlightenment, and they change right away, right after that moment. So there's no need to wait for times or a length of time or a period of time to have an enlightenment. And the complete in enlightenment, when people have the ultimate realization regarding an aspect in a life, or for a long-standing question about something that really big in their life, or even can answer the question of their whole life, and they have the absolute ultimate realization. So we call this complete enlightenment. They have the profound understanding and complete comprehension. So we call that realization is complete enlightenment. Complete enlightenment. And there are three kinds of knowledge. Three kinds of knowledge in this life. The first one is word view knowledge. The second one is human life, human life view. The third one is universe universe view. Okay, universe is on. Okay, universe view knowledge. Worldview is something that we have learned in school and in our daily life, like um, how to produce this product, this laptop, camera, uh, this marker, a house, how to make a coffee, a cup of coffee, or the ordinary knowledge that we have learned in school and in life. So we call this the word view knowledge. And we have another knowledge which is human human life view knowledge. We need to know uh, humans' connections, understand about ourselves, understand other people, and how people connections impact each other, and how to have a good life, a harmonious life with other people. So those fall under human life view knowledge. And the third one is universe view knowledge, which can answer some questions about where where human comes from, and when they go after death. Something that we can just something is not ordinary ordinary knowledge that we can find somewhere in this world, but usually the some religions can provide this universe views knowledge for us. That is the work, the duty of religions. And the world view we have when we go to school, we learn from our life, and what we need to focus more, that is human life view knowledge. But they haven't much cared of people, uh, and I even didn't know it before, previously, before I knew about this philosophy of education, uh, this knowledge. I also don't know about human life view knowledge. I just know something that we about worldview, and in the religions that I explored, I have there just some universe view. That's it. But human life view can help us to have harmonious life and relationship with people, and how we work with people, because human connection is very important in human life. We know how to work with them, we know how to connect with them, we know how to live with them. It's very very important, but people seem just disregard them in their life, or just think them is not really important. It's not really important, but actually that is the most important thing. Because of that, we have happiness. Because of that, we have a peaceful life. We have joy. We have um, harmonious life. So, in this journey, what we have learned so far, and until the end, that we learned about human life view. We learned about human life view. So we understand ourselves, we understand others, and we create our own joyful, peaceful, happy life. So the more we have an enlightenment in human life view, So the more mature we are in this segment, okay, or the more enlightenment we have in world view, the more mature we are in life in these segments, and the more we have enlightenment in universe view, the more we um, comprehension about the life before and after death of many people. So now we're focusing more on human life view, how to work, how to live, how to have harmonious relationship with other people is very, very important. So we can deal with that in human life view. Okay. So- Okay. So the word enlightenment, very, very important. Please remember that. So now it comes to the principle, the third principle that we call desire, align, inquiry, inquiry. Mm, is it correct? Right. Desire aligned inquiry principle. The principle of desire aligned inquiry. Inquiry. So earlier we know the meaning of enlightenment. Mm, okay. Thanks to the enlightenment that we have the more maturity. Why? Because when we have an enlightenment, we understand. We understand. We understand something. We have understanding. And at the time we have the understanding, we have the transformation, which is transformations. It shows or reflect through the action of someone if it have changed or they have changed. They change their behavior, they change the thought, so they take actions and they change. That through these two things, we can define someone has the transformation. And if they have a transformation, it means that they understand something, and where those understanding comes from is from the enlightenment. The moment that that person realize something, the moment that that person's have the answer for the long-lasting question, a long-lasting inquiry. If you ever have the moment that we call aha moment, like you realize something and you tap in your head, you tap in your left, somewhere in your body, and you said, ah, I knew it, I know it. I realize it. I understand why. That aha moment, we call it enlightenment. And right after that moment, we have the understanding of something. And when we have the understanding of something, we have the transformation. So we have the change, we take action. So that's why when you want somebody change or take action to do something, eh, they need to be transformed. And to have that transformation, they need to understand something. So don't ask somebody to change if they don't understand that why they have to change. I I saw some parents want their children to change their behaviors. Like they like to play video games or just games, online games, and the parents want their children to stop playing games and sitting on the study table or desk to start studying, but they never tell their children why they have to study instead of playing games. If you want someone change their behavior, take some actions, you need to make them understand why they have to do so. So, and it's applying to us. It also applies to us. When you want to change something, you need to understand why you have to change, why you have to take action. If you don't understand that, you never can change or take action to do something. If a person just lying down and do nothing because they understand that lying down and do nothing is better than do any other things. So that's why that's why we need to understand why we have to do that. So before asking someone to do something, we need to explain why they have to do that. And when they understand beneficial to is beneficial to their lives and also in other people's life, they could change they could take actions and change simply, naturally, gently. And And where is the enlightenment comes from? Uh, where does the enlightenment come from? Is from the inquiry that we have. The inquiry that we have in our mind. The inquiry that we have in our mind. And the type of our inquiry decides um, the orientation of our enlightenment and lead to the direction of our understandings and transformation or change or take action. So there's two types of inquiry, which is positive inquiry and negative inquiry. If you have a positive inquiry, you could have a positive enlightenment, and it which leads to the positive understanding and the positive transformation or positive change. When we talk about transformation, there could be bad or there could be good. So it depends on the inquiry, the orientation of your inquiry. If it's positive inquiry or if it's negative inquiry. So, and similarly with the negative inquiry, that person can have negative enlightenment and they have negative understanding and negative transformation. Of course, they change badly. So, uh, the type of or the orientation of your inquiries, the direction of your inquiry is very important. And the thing that's how do we divide is an inquiry is positive or negative? How do we know that we are positive and negative? Let me let me tell you a story. It's just a makeup story. Uh, it's just a makeup story. I have a question for you. I have a question for you. And please just take it as an example. Okay. With I don't have any other ideas, just an example. Okay. So I have a question for you that if in case that um you have a love like a love partner, it's like girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay, you have a girlfriend or boyfriend and your age is below 30. So this is the question for you. And please take it as an example. I don't mean to say that, okay? Just want to this example just have the aim to have you understand what is positive and what is negative. Okay, so if you are sitting there playing something and there is a person just approach you and that person can be the close one to you or an acquaintance to you. It's not really important. The thing that they they bring along the evidence that um, prove your girlfriend or boyfriend have an affair with other people, with other person. And the evidence is very clear, like images, photos, videos, everything is just it's evident. So the question is, do you think that message, that information is positive or negative to you? It's negative or positive to you? Okay, I will give you a few seconds to think about this. If a person just can be the close or a close one or an acquaintance to you that brings provide you an information said that your partner's girlfriend or boyfriend have an affair with all the evidence of photos, images, and videos. So what uh, do you think about that information? Is it positive or negative to you? I'll give you 1 minute, 1 minute to think about this. Okay. There are a few answers that I have heard or I have received so far. Um, it is positive to them. They have the mindset that if someone if someone uh, don't love them anymore, so they need to release them. They need to release them, and that information is also a sign, a signal for them to just release each other. So they think that they have learned some lesson from that event. So they thought it was positive to them. But somebody said that no, it's really negative information to me because I want to have a happy life with that person, but when it comes, I feel so sad, feel pain. It's really a negative information message to them. And you never ever know that you are positive or negative if you don't rely in reference. And the reference that we use here is your desire. Desire, your want, your demand. If the question that you have aligned aligned with your desire is positive. Aligned. Okay, align with your desire. Aligned. This word is aligned. Aligned with your desire is positive. And if it's oppose your desire, it becomes a negative information. And in this situation, in the scenario that we just mentioned earlier, if your desire, your aim is to have a happy family, happy ending with that person, of course, is opposing your desire. That information is opposing your desire. That's why it's a negative information. But if your desire is you want to break up with that person, but you don't have any excuse. So when that information comes, is is a good time and is a really a good excuse for you to break up with that person. So you will get that information and that message, even those evidence are fake, you would just take it as a real evidence and use it to break it with your partner. So that could be a positive, that could be a positive information to you. So you never know if you are negative or positive when you have not decided yet which is your desire or your demand or you want. So the first thing we need to decide or define what is our desire. What do we want in our life? What do we want in this situation? And people seem to be negative, but I didn't know. Uh, for example, uh, a mother, a mother tells her child that why do you stay closer to the TV? It will harms your eyes. See, why do you stay closer to the TV? It could harm your eyes. What's her want or her desire? She wants her child to have a healthy eyes, right? To have healthy eyes, good eyesight. But what did she say? She said that why do you stay close to the TV? Did she want her child to stay closer to the TV? No. But her question is, why do you stay closer to the TV? So she's negative, but she didn't know. And now how we can change, we shift from negative to positive side that she can ask or she can say, stay far away from the TV because it could have your nurture your eyes better. When we shift from negative to positive, which is aligned to your desire, it turned to be the positive side. And only once we have the positive inquiry or the positive message, and here we're talking about inquiry. So we have the positive enlightenment, we have the positive understanding and positive transformations. Of course, the positive change. Okay, positive change. There are two women. They encountered the similar situation that their husbands come home very late at night, and when they are at home, they are drunk completely. And the first women have the question, why how can I make him love me and our family more, take care of our family better? And the second woman had had the question, why he always come home late and in drunk state? Does he have an affair? So keep in mind those questions. What do you think? Who, which women have a better chance to be happier, to have a happy family? The first one or the second one? Of course, the first one, right? Because the first one, she have the question, how can I make my husband love me more, love the family more, and take care of the family better? So she could have the enlightenment that, okay, I need to change something. So she understand that I might did something wrong, or I need to change a little bit. So that's why she take action and change, and she have a better chance to have a happy life with her husband, with her husband. But the second wife, she have a negative, she have a negative inquiry. What does she want? She want a happy family, right? So her desire is to have a happy family. But her question is that, does my husband have an affair? So it's opposing to her desire. So that is a negative inquiry. And then she have an enlightenment, a enlightenment, and she understand negative uh, in a negative way that he might have an affair. And when she understands that she can change her behaviors to her husband, she can treat him badly, curse him, say very bad word to him, but it might not a real situation. But she just uh, understand in that way, so that's why she take action and change negatively. So define our desires is the first step in this principle. And then we make a positive inquiry so that we can have the positive enlightenment, we have positive understanding and positive transformation. Of course, we have positive change and take action positively. Okay, so where is our inquiry comes from? Where there is our inquiry comes from is from the question, is from the question that we have. The questions when it stays so long in our minds, like a long standing questions, it becomes an inquiry. It becomes an inquiry. And when it turned to be an inquiry, you have one day you have the answer for that. So you have an enlightenment. And when right after the enlightenment moment, you have the understanding of regarding that. And when you have the understanding, you would have the transformations, you have a chance, you take actions, and it depends on you have negative or positive inquiry. So you can have the negative or positive change. And of course, all of us want to have a positive change, positive transformations so that we can be more matured, we can have the growth in our life. So now let's practice this principle, the principle of desire aligned inquiry. I've give you some time to list down some of the questions that you have in your mind. Don't think too much. Just list down some questions that you have about your life, about your work, any aspect in your life, any questions that you have in your mind. Just list them down. Okay. I'll give you a few minutes to do that, and then we try to see if it's positive or negative. So don't think too much. Don't use your mindset to think about if it's positive or negative and try to change it. No need to do that. We can do it later. Now just list out the instant, the immediate question that you have in your mind. Okay, I'll give you around 2 minutes. Okay. All right. If you have some questions on your page on the list, now you can read it out loud and check if it's positive or negative. And we know how to define if it's negative or positive, right? Um, check your desire. If it's aligned to your desire, it is positive. If it's opposed to your desire, it's negative. And we know that the positive inquiry could have an enlightenment, enlightenment, positive understanding, and positive transformation. And if the questions is negative, so you could have the negative, that is the negative inquiry. And when you have an enlightenment, it would be negative enlightenment, negative understanding, and negative transformation. And if it's a positive questions, just keep it. But if it's negative question, so try to shift it from negative to positive side. For example, if someone have the question that why does my life so Why is my life so uncomfortable? So, what do you think about that question? Is it negative or positive? Of course, it's negative, right? Because everyone wants to have a happy life. But her question or his question is, why is my life so uncomfortable? So is opposed. It goes against her or his desire. So we can shift from that negative side to positive side by change a little bit that she wants a happy, she or he wants a happy life. And the question can be how to have a happy life, how to have a happy life, how to have a happy life. And then when she got an answer, the answer is an enlightenment for having a happy life. And she or he have the understanding to have a happy life. And then they have the chance or take action to have a happy life. Yesterday, I attended a talk show about the suitable condition. It means about human relationship, a good or harmonious human relationship. And in the talk show, um, there's a teacher share about a scenario that she she has two friends. Two of them both participated in a sports competition, a running competition, and both of them encountered the same situation. After a few days of running, they feel pain in their legs. And the first one had the question, why my leg is so painful? And a few days later, she had the answer. She got an enlightenment that my skill is not correct. I need to, and I'm not good at running. So she takes more time to rest, and until the that competition just ends because it's a long run competition. It lasts about a few months, and the achievements can be accumulated through days. So after a few months, she her she cannot complete uh, that competition. But the second one had had encountered the same situation, but she had the question that how can I feel better and I can run tomorrow? And then she met a teacher who gave her an advice how to run properly, and her skills she changed a little bit, and then she runs properly. A few days later she feel better, and then she didn't have that pain anymore, and then she can't after a few months she completed that competition um, naturally and gently. So you see that the, in the same situation, but two different people have different orientation of the inquiry. The first one have the negative inquiry, and she ends with the negative transformations, and then she cannot complete her competition. But the second one have different mindset. She have the opposite inquiry. She have positive inquiry. So, and she ends with the completion of her competition. So you see how powerful an inquiry can bring to us. That's why we need to know and or define our desire. It's very important, very, very important to know our desire. What do you want in your future? Who do you want to become in your future? And then when you make an inquiry, please be careful if it's positive or negative. And if it's negative, shift it to positive so that at the end you could have the positive transformation. So you could complete your desire. So that's how we can apply it or we can practice this principle, the principle of desire aligned inquiry. That is the name of the principle. And in many, many situations and events in my life, I applied this principles is very, very useful because right after you have the positive inquiry, you will encounter some situation or someone's, it could be the wise man who can give you the advice. So have you understanding and have the transformation positively. So try to use the positive inquiry frequently so that you could end with the positive transformation. So we that is how we can apply this principle, the principle of desire aligned inquiry. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. We have um, been through two principles, the principle of brain activation and the principle of desire aligned inquiry. In the principle of brain elevations, just remember lessons, get lessons in every situation, every event in your life. Lesson is something that you learned newly. Get the insight that a lesson that you have learned, but you think is helpful to apply it to your life and get the enlightenment in the situation that you have that you encounter in your life. The enlightenment um, you can have when you have the answer for a long standing question or a long standing inquiry. Okay, so whenever you encounter something difficulties or any event in your life, just draw out lesson, insight, the lesson, the insight, or the enlightenment, so that by doing that, can we have uh, can we activate our brain to see a better future, to see the beauties in us, in others, the beauties in everything in our life, to see a brighter future in us, in others. And the principle of desire ally inquiry, just remember that desire defines your desires in life and make the positive inquiries so that we can end with the positive transformation. Okay, that's it for today. If you have any question, uh, please you can raise your hand or you can put it in the chat box so we can discuss it. It's just a knowledge when it's on a paper. and but it will become a very helpful, a useful tool for us if you practice it. All right, I will take that silence as no question, and you are completely understand these two principles. Or if you have any questions so far since beginning until now, today is day 3 in 21-day course. So if you have any questions, just say it, or you draw out some lessons or insights or enlightenment. Just feel free to say to say them. Okay. So if we're good, we can stop by now. Thank you so much for your presence, for your time, and for giving me the opportunity to share with you this knowledge. Uh, the one that I really appreciate because it have changed my life a lot since I applied this knowledge to my life. And one of my teachers said that when we have the precious things in life, we'll give it to our loved ones. So that's why I have this course. I want to give this precious knowledge to all of you. So I and hope that we can build our own happier, healthier, and more joyful life. Thank you so much for your presence, and see you tomorrow at the same time around 4:30 to 6:30 in Vietnam time. Okay. Bye everyone. Please allow me to turn off the live on Facebook. Bye. And I could stop the recording here, and bye everyone. See you tomorrow.